very popular too. And of course, as I said before, with the Mansfield Reformatory, Ghost Hunters were there, Ghost Adventure, Zach Baggins, and Ghost Asylum, Tennessee Wraith Chasers. Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be really cool. That's what I did the research on for tonight on Helltown, and I thought it was really cool. That's someplace I'd like to go. They say there's mutated and disfigured people hiding out there, more like mutated creatures, basically, and that the government caused it. So that'd be really cool. But Mansfield Reformatory again. Like I said, Ghost Adventures were there. Zach Baggins, Ghost Asylum, the Tennessee Wraith Chasers. I absolutely love the Tennessee Wraith Chasers. They are just too cool. And, of course, Ghost Hunters were also there. And each one had experiences. So, and they've caught things on their EVPs. You can't make that up. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't discount any of it. There's just things in this world we just won't understand. It would be nice if we could, but I think most of these shows, especially Ghost Asylum and Ghost Adventures, I think they have enough evidence to say something does exist. I'm sorry, but it does. You may not agree with me, but that's okay. That's my opinion. So, I have some books you can look up if you like. The first one is The Big Book of Urban Legends. It's a paperback. Which place, Ike? I'll look if you give me which place. So, let me know. One book is The Big Book of Urban Legends. It's in paperback. It's by Robert Loring Fleming. Another one, Suburban Legends. True Tales of Murder, Mayhem, and Minivans. It's in paperback by Sam Stall, Stall. The Complete and Totally True Book of Urban Legends, paperback by Anne Fiery. The Jersey Devil by James F. McCloy and Ray Miller. The Jersey Devil. Oh, Helltown. I don't know if they did I remember that episode. Let me check real quick if they did. I think it would have said. But let me check that real quick. Interesting question. I remember that episode you're talking about. That kind of sounds like it, don't it? I have to agree with you there. Let me check here. Excuse me. And nope, not that I. Let me see here. It says Hell Money, not Helltown. But let's see where that was. Nope. I don't see anything, but I can check further into that for you. That was just a quick look. Yeah, the disfigured people. Yeah, I remember that episode. It could have been, I don't think it was done specifically on that, but it could have been a reference to that for sure. Yeah, it could be. I will check more into that though. Yeah, I remember that. That's why I looked real quick. Yeah, Big Book of Urban Legends. Like I said, The Jersey Devil by James F. McCloy and Ray Miller. Here's one for you. Mothman Prophecies by John Keel. Keel. Mothman Prophecies. Ohio Ghost Stories by James A. Willis. And Weird Ohio by Lauren Coleman. Those are 7 books you can definitely get into. Oh, you're welcome. You can definitely check into some of these. There are just so many urban legends. What I'm thinking about, I was thinking about this during, when we were talking about some of these places, like I did, Ohio Haunted, urban legends. I may take each one of you and see what urban legends you have around you guys where you live and do a show on that. So that would be cool just to find out what's around everybody. It would be cool. Maybe take one place from each state and check them out. You had the Mothman book? Cool. I should have known. Yeah, Jersey Devil. Like I said, they keep saying, oh, it's a bird, Mothman, it's a huge owl. Come on. You're all going to give the same description, but they're all seeing things. Totally. I don't know. I just think it's a bunch of hooey that they discount everything. Sometimes I wonder if they, if some of this exists, would they really tell us? I don't know. Probably not. You know what a panic some people would be in. It's crazy. So, like I said, we discussed Crybaby Bridge, Gore Orphanage, Mansfield Reformatory, all these urban legends, the clown statue, Jersey Devil. So, Babysitter and the Man Upstairs. So, could well be. I think so too. Again, a good example of urban legends not being fiction is Babysitter and the Man Upstairs. That was the movie based on that was When a Stranger Calls, The Sitter and Amusement, different movies, same theme. But it was based on a crime that did happen in 1950. So, not exactly that way. Yeah, it was a little embellished, but the basis was there. So where does an urban legend come from? I think it's based on fact, based on true stories. It has to be. If, like I said, if it was a fictional story, they would be under fiction, period. So, it was a weather balloon. Yeah, I'll send you the names of the books. Gladly, Ike, I'll do that. I'll message you with that. Yeah, it was a weather balloon. Yeah, it was. Of course it was. Okay, whatever. Yeah, and it was an owl. It's not the Mothman. It was a big owl or a sandhill heron. Okay, I think I've seen herons. I don't think they're even close to that what they've described. Not even close. So there you go. But that's just my belief. I think there's a basis for all of this. So whether you believe or not, I don't know. That's up to you. We also discussed Bloody Mary, which was, of course, based on Mary Worth. But these stories have been around for a long, long time. They just didn't pop up. So even for hundreds of years, how could they make something up back then like that? I just don't understand it. If it has withstood test of time, what makes you think it was fictional? So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't want to tick anybody off. There was one I was going to... The Gore Orphanage was one. I mean, as the 1800s. They're going to just make this up. I don't think so. So, these date back so long that there's a basis for all these. So, you can think what you want. If you don't want to, if you think it's just all fictional stuff, that's fine. The Killer in the Back Seat has been around. It is one of the most popular urban legends that don't go out of style. And we talked about which one was that? About the clown statue. That a midget was living in the house, unbeknownst to anybody. Okay, I can go as far as we talked about that, Chris. The woman was living in the walls. Yeah, that was crazy, and nobody knew. That would be freaky, just to find out somebody had been living there with you and you didn't know. Ooh, puts a new meaning to the word stalker, wouldn't it? Doesn't it? That's just creepy. But the clown statue, they said they believe it. The most popular theory was it was a midget dressed as a clown that'd been living in there undetected. Okay. I have a hard time with that one. I'm sorry. I just have a hard time with that one. I think it was a midget. Something was going on. It was kind of creepy. It didn't say they caught the guy either. I don't know. Yeah, Lover's Lane Killer. There's also, oh gosh, what's the name of that called? It's a hangman too. But I remember one where, the Lover's Lane Killer. I think it's probably the same one. They're kind of based different areas on that, where, like the hangman's not. They went to park and make out and all that stuff, and then he heard a noise or had to go to the bathroom, whatever the case was. Got out. He didn't come back. She's waiting in the car, waiting for him. And then she hears a thump on the hood of the car. I think that was The Hook, though. That's another one. The Hook. He was ripped apart, and he left a bloody print on her window or whatever. Crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah, lots of stuff going on. Okay, I have another short story for you. And it's called Sam's New Pet. Excuse me. Sam stayed with his grandmother when his parents went to Mexico for their vacation. "We're going to bring you back something nice," his mother told him. "It will be a surprise." Before they came home, Sam's parents looked for something Sam would like. All they could find was a beautiful sombrero. It cost too much, but that afternoon, while they were eating their lunch in the park, they decided to buy the sombrero after all. Sam's father threw what was left of their sandwiches to some stray dogs, and they walked back to the marketplace. One of the animals followed them. It was a small gray creature with short hair, short legs, and a long tail. Wherever they went, it went. "Well, isn't he cute?" Sam's mother said. "He must be one of those Mexican hairless dogs. Sam would love him." "He's probably somebody's pet," Sam's father said. They asked several people if they knew who its owners were, but no one did. They just smiled and shrugged their shoulders. Finally, Sam's mother said, "Maybe he's just a stray. Bah. Let's take him home with us. We can give him a good home, and Sam will love him." It is against the law to take a pet across the border, but Sam's parents had the animal in a box, and no one saw it. When they got home, they showed it to Sam. "He's a pretty small dog," said Sam. "That's a Mexican dog," his father said. "I'm not sure what kind. I think it's called a Mexican hairless." "Okay, we'll find out, but he's nice, don't you think?" They gave the pet some dog food. Then they washed it and brushed it and combed its fur. That night, it slept on Sam's bed. When Sam awakened the next morning, his pet was still there. "Mother, the dog has a cold." The animal's eyes were running, and there was something white around its mouth. Later that morning, Sam's mother took it to the vet. "Where did you get him?" the vet said. "In Mexico. We think it's a Mexican hairless. I was going to ask you about it." "He's not a hairless. He's not even a dog. He's a sewer rat, and he has rabies." I was hoping he would be, Ike. It was a Mexican sewer rat, and he has rabies. Oh, can you imagine? No, gross, stop. Here's one for you, Chris. It's called Boo Men. B-O-O, Boo Men. The girl was late getting home for supper, so she took a shortcut through the cemetery. But, it made her nervous. When she saw another girl ahead of her, she hurried to catch up. "Do you mind if I walk with you?" she asked. "Walking through the cemetery at night scares me." "I know what you mean," the other girl said. "I used to feel that way myself when I was alive." There are all sorts of things that scare us. The dead scare us, for one day we will be dead like they are. The dark scares us, for we don't know what is waiting in the dark. At night, the sound of leaves rustling or branches groaning or someone whispering makes us uneasy. So do footsteps coming closer. So do strange figures we think we see in the shadows. A human, maybe, or a big animal, or some horrible thing we can barely make out. People call these creatures we think we see Boo Men. We imagine them, they say, but now and then a Boo Man turns out to be quite real. Queer happenings scare us too. We hear of a boy or a girl who was raised by an animal, a human being like us who yelps and howls and runs on all fours. The thought of it makes our flesh crawl. We hear insects that make their nests in a person's body, or of a nightmare that comes true and we shudder. If such things really do happen, then they could happen to me. It is from each such fears that scary